Hi everybody, your friend Mark here. Just driving across Canada, and it's given me a lot of time to think, reflect on a lot of things that are going on right now in my life. A lot of big changes going on. I'm making a big move, moving to Europe actually. Never even been to Europe, and I'm gonna new opportunities there. Check it out. You know, life takes you funny places sometimes. It's a journey, and well, it's given me a lot of reason to reflect on, you know, what is life, but like, what is my purpose in this life? What direction am I going? If you understand what I'm saying. You know, personally, I'm kind of a spontaneous person, as is. If you know me, you might know me. I'm not really a structured person, but I still feel like I have a strong sense of identity. And what I've learned is, you know, what's really important in life, what's of true importance, and what really defines ourselves as individuals. And what I've come to understand is this is a process. Psychology is known as individuation. But what I've come to understand is to really have success in life, we always have to strive to constantly improve our current state. Now, you might say, you know, I'm happy as is. Great, yeah. Accept that, live a peaceful, happy life, yeah, for sure. But I think it's really important in life to have a more growth-oriented perspective. And you know, this is part of this is like a healing process that we go through. You know, looking for meaning in life, finding out who we truly are, self-exploration, and you know, to go through life and to learn no lessons. What kind of life would that be? Obviously, lessons are there for our growth process to become, you know, you can call it becoming more of an individual, but really it's also beyond that, because we're a collection of individuals, right? So what I see it as, this is like evolution, you know. A lot of people argue if that's a valid theory. It's just a theory, but we are developing, you know, psychologically, physically, but you know, it's not, we have conscious control over this development. That's what makes, I think, humans so unique. You know, we can focus our energy, our concentration, willpower. You know, this is all very, very powerful things in life. And yeah, so right now I'm kind of questioning, you know, where am I going? Where am I developing to? And, you know, rationally I could be like, you know, to just pick up and go to Europe, it's kind of an irrational thing for a lot of people. Wouldn't normally do that, right? To tell you the truth, I don't even know really what I'm going to do there. But what I've come to understand is, you know, sometimes we have to embrace irrationality, embrace ambiguity. It's part of the journey in life. That's where a lot of the real beauty happens, in my mind, when you can embrace the unknown and be your own light. Like I think Buddha said, it's really important to add meaning to our environment. That's like part of the whole basis of human consciousness, is how we imprint ourselves on our external environment. And once you understand how really that works, it's really magical how the interplay between our internal and external, you come to understand that there is no real boundary. For example, color. You know, you think color is part of our environment. No, it's part of our consciousness that we imprint on our environment. So once you understand things like this, you understand that perceptually we're actually adding to our environment, which is a whole other topic. Kind of cover all over the place here. Here we go. Yeah, so it's part of my own perspective in all this while I'm driving here, thinking is, how does one evolve oneself? You know, well, what is the self? You know, this is who I am. Is that an illusion? I don't know, but you know, what I do know is that I feel, and to say that that's not important would be pretty ignorant. So there is a sense of identity involved. Now, where's this identity moving? You know, it's always changing. It's not static. Correct? Oh, just got cut off. That's okay. Well, part of the development process is like I was saying before, embracing that unknown. You're moving in this direction, but you're also going with the forces of nature. You're using natural forces which, you know, are totally unpredictable. You can try to control nature, but in the end, it's and what's important is our relationship with nature and our understanding that we're not so separate from it. We work with it. So it's like I was saying before, like this is all a process of our individuation in life, which is the process of becoming an individual. And or also it could just be called maturing. You know, we mature, we go through different stages, and we go through different relationships through life. You know, it's all maturing. And maturing is learning lessons. Because otherwise, if you don't learn lessons, then you just get caught up in the same cycle of, you know, crap in life. You get in the same type of relationships, and people wonder, why do I always, like, you know, why am I not successful? Because you're not learning the essentials. What's real, not just what's real about the world. You know, the world will tell you what's real, but part of the individuation process is figuring out what's real and defining yourself what's real. Not letting your culture necessarily define what's real or who you are. Because, to tell you the truth, culture is a little mentally disturbed. It needs some therapy, hardcore. So, you know, this individuation process is incorporating thoughts and feelings in our perceptions, and you know, we couldn't do it unless we were healthy. Health is of major importance, obviously, right? We can't deny that. You can try to be as book smart as you want, but if you're eating crappy food, not eating like what your body needs, what it's designed to take, then it's not going to perform. You're not going to perform to your potential, you know? So individuation is reaching our true potential as individuals. That's maturing. And part of, just like I was saying, like health is of importance. What is health? You know, it's about bringing the right balance to life. It's all about balance, homeostasis. Now, you know, there's balance as in what we eat, but then what about the balance in how we feel or what we think? You know, our body needs a degree of stimulation, or else, you know, we could sensory deprivation happens, and that can cause some real problems, obviously. So we need to be stimulated in certain ways, but if you overstimulate, then that can cause more problems too, right? Overstimulation causes pain, suffering in the end. So, where am I going with all of this? It's about reconstructing, taking control of one's life, taking control of the direction in life, embracing the unknown. This is what I'm really reflecting on here, because if you think you know everything, you're really just limiting. It's self-limiting. You're putting limitations on yourself. As soon as you start saying that you think you know something, then you've just created your own little box. You've created your own little safety safety zone. Your attachment to some either mental process or concept. Not to say that's bad, but if you become too attached to it, which, to say that you truly know who you are even, or know what you're going to do 10 years from now. You're going to hear some people, I know after I'm done school I'm going to do this, this, and this, and this. Personally, that's just it could be setting yourself up for disappointment, suffering, again, in the end. So part of the individuation process is also, in maturing, is just self-honesty. Really. When one can truly say, be honest with what they feel, then, you've really reached who you are in life. You're in touch with yourself. You are in touch with more of your intuitive nature, which is, what's intuition? It's how we subconsciously feel, subconsciously not being the part of our conscious that we're not always in direct attention with. There's some, under the surface within ourselves, there's a whole nother world, like it's infinite. It's also like, you can call it subconscious, but also super conscious or supraconscious, collective conscious, are in touch with our nature and Mother Earth, as well as potentially, who knows, whatever else, interdimensionally, or, our own DNA has its own intelligence, but, it's part of us. Our cells how many cells we have in our body performing a multitude of functions at once. We have no control over that. Our heartbeats and our breathing, even, we do that unconsciously. But, through various techniques, we can become more in tune with our subconscious. And it's part of a lot of my practice has been in meditation, becoming more in touch with different aspects of myself, subconscious, my dream states, trying to memorize dreams and consciously bring consciousness focus into my dreams. But, that's, I could go off on a tangent on that. But I don't want to divert from my real focus of this point, which is part of our own healing process. Because once we have our true sense of self, this is what I've been thinking recently, is, once we've got our own shit together, we can then start to deal with more problems, quote, in our environment. We can help heal other people, in other words, But in order to do so, we gotta approach it correctly. Because I see a lot of people on the internet or whatever. They have really good ambition, right, and really good intentions, which is great. But if you approach quote negative, I don't like to say that, but negative situation or negative psyche, just like mental disease. When you're trying to do therapy, in other words, on the world, fix problems, you have to approach it correctly. And if you don't have your own, act together, then you're not going to be able to effectively help other people. And for me, the real way to effectively help other people is to really empathize with them more than just, I think I understand where they're coming from. That is empathy, but it's really empathizing with them, like putting yourself in a situation, which can be hard to do, but really being able to relate with someone, and but then also really accepting their feelings as valid. We are perfect. We are moving towards a state of perfection, but we are part of a natural process too. And I hate to say it, but not everyone is going to graduate necessarily in this lifetime. Not everyone grows up. We're not some people aren't just ready, maybe, but that isn't to say we still shouldn't try to set an example, a good example, because you'd be surprised, even the people in like the worst situations in life, they could be, total states of depression or anxiety, but the healing process can kick in at any given time. Sometimes all it takes is a good friend or a family person to give a little support, to be like, look, I understand what you're going through there, Billy, but it's really important just to be like, look, I understand where you're coming from.